This work by Carl Nell to my right is called House of the Initiate and was done in 1995. The materials are quite interesting here. We're looking at pastel on bonded fiber, so quite an organic range of pigments. And what's interesting to me is Carl Nell was my teacher, so I've had many years of conversation with him regarding his works. And in fact, one finds that over the years, he has become much more communicative as to the history and the interests that he's involved in with the works. If one looks at this particular piece, we do see symbols that we've seen over the years in his work, the plant material, the kinds of energy structures and forms that are reminiscent of the early works, the rod, the energy rods, the cones, and the various symbols of energy. And certainly an interesting thing I read yesterday was Battis talked about representation and how one really in art has to mirror life. Carl's interest is in the kind of translation of how one reads energy forms and how one then replicates those onto a two-dimensional form. He has a great interest in how one also embodies a kind of etheric or a metaphysical representation through a really mechanical process of putting down pigment onto a piece of bonded fiber. What's interesting, and you see it in the early works and you see it coming through to the later works, are these kinds of energy swirls that are in a sense not clear in terms of what they might represent, but compared to the earlier pieces where one sees as objects that become recognizable, the bowl, the flowers, the vase, the leaf, with the energy swirls within the great palm leaf, one really feels that this work is something that you need a lot of time to engage with and would give you many, many years of pleasure.